Not Batman. We are going to take a look at the new live action Superman trailer that came out. Well, this is an official sneak peek clip, so let's have at it. Let me get the volume up here, and here we go. Actually, before I move forward with this, I'm curious, what are your thoughts on Superman?
Here as a kid, I always thought it was kind of a stupid premise. How would the radiation from a common star, which is different from your home planet star, how would that lend you all these abilities? Fly, super different types of vision, super breath, super. I mean, it's just everything.
Lord,
That's
dude,
why
it
it's
is a
Superman.
comic book
Everything.
character. It's a superhero. Get out of that. How the hell does getting bit by a spider give you all that stuff? What are you talking about? It has nothing to do with that. I meant more so, where do you get into in the realm of superheroes? What are your thoughts on Superman? Good Lord, I know you're a fan of Batman.
That's what I'm saying. Even as a
Batman's
kid,
able to do all the stuff he does.
Okay, but at least he had to earn it. Oh, Superman could be a fat, lazy bitch laying at home, drinking beer, eating donuts, and he's still going to be able to fly, punch harder than anybody else, see through walls, all that shit, because it's not him. I hated that as a kid. It was like, he's like one of the rich kids in the neighborhood.
Yeah. I don't like I don't like Superman because of those qualities as well, but I'm living in the realm of superheroes. That's not the issue. I just don't really like Superman because he was made to be invincible, which is boring to me. That I find to be boring.
Yeah, well, maybe that's just it. So what happens when didn't Flash beat his ass? Didn't he figure out a way to beat Superman? I know Batman did.
Oh, that's the thing. Well, yeah, I think as comics, because well, yeah, Superman. Well, Thanos is in a different universe. That's Marvel, but
he's Marvel. Okay.
Superman, remember, is the first comic book character, essentially, like big one at least, and so I think I give some leeway in that where there probably was never any intention of it becoming more, and you had other types of heroes and everything because over time, yeah, I mean, there were characters that were able to be. I mean, Doomsday kills Superman, right? So there are things, and I think over time again you get Lex Luthor and being able to do the type of stuff that he does with Superman. So he isn't invincible, but I think that was the initial premise starting out, and then you come to realize you are going to have to give him flaws and things that can be done to defeat him. Otherwise, yeah, it's an incredibly boring story. But I was more so curious your thoughts on where you ranked him in your superhero list of heroes that you think are cool or you find interesting. And for me, Superman was never all that interesting, mostly because it's like, well, I mean, yeah, it's boring. He doesn't really have to do anything, and everything he does is, again, kind of that godlike power.
And yeah, exactly. And that's why even as a kid, I was not a big Superman fan. It's just, everything, right. You got everything. Who's going to beat you? You don't, you never saw Superman at the gym, right? He didn't have to be at the gym. He was Superman. On the other hand, didn't seem to make him super intelligent, did it?
No, but he's not dumb.
All right. Well, no, he wasn't dumb, not at all. But you figure you've got these godlike powers, but you have normal mortal intelligence level. That's scary.
Well, perhaps, but that's one of the things that makes Superman great, right? Is that he's got a heart of gold, essentially. I mean, because he could be evil, right? He could enslave the Earth, but he doesn't.
What if he didn't? Yeah. Good luck with that in real life.
Well, this
You
isn't
know, I
real
mean,
life.
I'm just saying that if there
Come
was
on,
a
man.
universe where Superman existed, Superman would not remain the benevolent protector of humanity that we see. Not with all the human-like traits that he has. You
Right.
know,
Well, and I'm not a
first,
huge I mean, I like comics, but I'm sure in some of the comics he does become that, right? He becomes that evil dictator. Let's take a let's I
I
guess
don't
I'll
know.
hit continue here.
And look, he wears his underwear on the outside of his pants. Come on.
Yeah, which I think is comic book accurate, right? I'm not a big fan of this suit. I remember the very first thing. It wasn't actually a comic book that I read with Superman. It was actually the novel, the death, or the. It was called the death and life of Superman, and it was in that order because Superman dies by the hands of goodness. I just said his name, Doomsday, and then he he's exposed to the sun and is able to come back to life and everything. But in that I remember talking, his mother actually made the suit for him, I believe, and said, she noticed, I guess, that the tighter the or the more, yeah, the tighter the clothing was to him, the more he was protected or something along those lines. So, and you can see like a lot of the folds in this suit, and so it just doesn't seem like it's very fitting, like spandex type to him, which I wouldn't want spandex either. But I don't know. I'm just not very impressed with this suit. Got trimmers. I hate this. This is terrible to me. First, set aside the obvious CGI dog stuff. The hell kind of dog does this? I mean, great. Like, I'm of two minds with this. One, the dog has obviously been around Superman, and Crypto is obviously a supernatural dog and everything else, and so playing wise, he would know Superman probably doesn't get hurt or anything. But anyone who's ever been around dogs and stuff, for the most part, would probably like experience that if you play dead or play hurt or actually are hurt or something, dogs like not going to come around beating the hell out of you. And, they're more curious and making sure you're okay. I don't know. I don't like this scene. I think it's there
Maybe
for
unless he taught him to play like that, right?
well, that's what I'm saying is like play wise. I'm sure Crypto's used to Superman being able to be rough and tumble, right? But dogs aren't stupid, and he's clearly in distress. Um, so it's bizarre to me. It seems like they're doing this for comedic relief, where to me it just looks silly and dumb.
Man,
Maybe I'm
see, I was
overthinking it,
just
but
thinking
I
that's
just I
probably the
don't like
best
it.
Superman thing I've ever seen.
No, yeah, I'm not a fan, but okay. I guess two different viewpoints there. Let's keep it going.
I mean,
You go ahead.
I was just going to say, you're more of a fan of the Superman franchise or story than I am.
Oh no, I don't like Superman at all. Actually,
Oh,
I don't like him
okay.
as a
Oh,
character.
well,
I,
we have a
I mean,
mind
I
on
like
that one.
Justice League and stuff, but yeah, I've never been a fan of Superman. I just don't. I don't see the appeal. To be honest, I just never have. I'm a Green Lantern guy.
Take me home. Home.
I'm guessing this is the Fortress of Solitude.
Yeah. When I first saw the Arctic landscape, I assumed that's what it was.
Yeah, see, I'm not familiar enough with Superman stuff. See, I wasn't even really aware of Krypto as a character until this came out. I mean, I know about Fortress of Solitude and stuff, but I'd never known about the dog or anything. But I do like. I think the fortress aspect looks pretty cool. These giant crystals coming out, and I don't know what technology they're using. Some Kryptonian technology, I'd imagine, to where it's it's like a biometric. So whenever he gets close enough, it's able to come out as opposed to always being exposed.
Probably same technology Wonder Woman's plane uses.
Oh yeah. Voice activated.
Yep. The right kind of bark.
See, I don't like any of this junk. Like, it's so much CG freaking eye. I'm so tired of it. Granted, they're robots. I get that part, but you can tell like the floor, I mean, it even looks like Superman himself being drugged here is animated. I don't know. I can't stand this anymore. This type of cinematography. Whatever. We'll continue.
Oh, stand your super ass up,
sir, as we will not appreciate it.
Yeah, what's Superman's healing factor? I feel like it's pretty massive. He should have healed by now, especially out in the Arctic. I mean, he's exposed to sun like crazy.
We have no consciousness whatsoever, merely automatons here to serve. Meet 12. She's new.
He looked at me.
Now, why would the robots say that if they have no emotional stuff going on? They just do their functions.
Well, yeah,
again,
well, I guess
it's fucking silly.
Exactly, it's comedic relief. That's sarcasm. We said one thing, and now we're going to demonstrate the other. That's so that all the bleeding hearts out there can start fighting for robot rights.
Yeah, no, that's terrible writing right there. You just contradicted yourself in less than 3 seconds, but whatever.
14 fractured bones.
Damage to bladder, kidney, large intestine, lungs.
With a healthy dose of yellow sun, we'll have you up and at him in no time.
Then why'd you bring him inside? He was already laying outside under the sun.
Level 4.
See, they got to focus it on him, I guess.
Prime, please swap.
Which is fine. I'm okay with that. Now, see, he may be able to withstand that. I don't know how the robots are withstanding that direct sunlight. Like, wouldn't that melt the hands right off that robot?
Maybe it's mithril and adamantium alloy.
Yeah, sure. All right, I like that.
Who's back?
Lex Luthor, one of my favorite actors too. Nicole there. I look like Hawkgirl, I think.
Superman.
That's Guy Gardner.
The Jedi.
No, that was Guy Gardner, the Green Lantern. I didn't recognize some of the other characters. I probably should have, but I did not. But that is the sneak peek of this year's Superman. And I'll be honest, I don't think it's going to do all that well. What were your thoughts on that trailer in its entirety?
Overall, stupid shit.
All right. Well, there you have it, folks.